topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV, where we bring you educational information from top local experts in the fields of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. Now sit back and listen to experts in family law, association law, hearing loss, business brokers, home care, along with many other topics. Now here are your hosts, Steve-O and Sophia.
Good morning. Welcome to another Ask the Expert show. Hey, I hope everybody had a wonderful Thanksgiving. They're never long enough, are they? Hey, this is the first Wednesday at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, and it's a show that I always look so forward to doing. I do 30 shows a month, and this show here is like my favorite show. It seems like every month I learn so much from the show that we actually run the show 3 additional times during the month. I want to introduce you to my favorite doctor, Dr. Elder Taylor of the Taylor Medical Group. Good morning, Dr. Taylor.
Hey, I bet you say that to all the girls, that they're your favorite.
Hey, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was nice and quiet. We stayed at home and kind of, my kids came over, they ate, and we just been kind of doing a whole lot of nothing. I've been working on some projects that I hope you'll let me talk about. And so that's what I've been primarily working on.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you want to hear it?
Hey, I just want to say this.
Okay, go ahead.
I read all of your ages, your blueprint, and I saw where you said most people assume that normal labs mean they're healthy, but that's not how the system works. And I was like, God, I know so many people like that.
Yeah,
I thought that made so much sense.
Yeah. So, that's the thing that I'm talking about. So one, if you want to talk about in general, men and women. So here's what you have to understand when you're talking about normal labs. So what they do is they get a group of people and they draw all of their blood and they look for, let's say, potassium or whatever. And they draw a bell-shaped curve. And, if you can remember elementary statistics, it's 2 standard deviations from the mean and all of that stuff. And so in order to be considered abnormal, you have to be in the 2.5% or 2.5% either high or 2.5% low. All right. So that means if you're in the other 95%, you're considered normal. But let's just say normally you are on the more high side. That's your normal. But you're over here, you're here, but you're not in the sick group. Well, you feel different. And that's what we talk about functional medicine. You're not functioning like you did when you were here. You're functioning like over here, and you know the difference. But you're also not functioning like the 2.5% there. So you're considered normal, but it doesn't feel normal to you. In functional medicine, we look at that whole curve and we say, okay, if you were supposed to be over here and you're over here, how can we get you back over there? And I know my left and right might be screwed up with how we do this. But that's what we're talking about, is that normal doesn't mean it's normal for you. Normal just means you're in the 95% of other people. And here's the problem. In America, 95% of the people aren't healthy. So you're just saying who's the most unhealthy out of a whole unhealthy population. So there's a book called The Myth of Normal. And it talks about all of that, how we consider what is common to be normal. So that's the difference between something being normal and just being a common problem in a particular society.
I think you said traditional lab ranges are built to detect disease, but
Exactly.
not measure function. And that makes so much sense.
Yeah. And that's why I told you medical school. Medical school is about treating that 2.5% to the left and 2.5% to the right. That's what we teach. How are we supposed to treat those that 5%? So 95% we don't know how to treat. And I'm telling you from my standpoint, even being an OBGYN, I did not know how to accurately treat or adequately treat my wife when she was having those issues. And we had to go and study this together and figure out, hey, I don't want to just wait till you get into this 2.5% over here and 2.5% there. We need to fix it right here. So, yeah, that's the problem. We don't really know how to handle function. And that's why I had to go through a whole different learning process from medical school. I tell people, I hardly do anything that I learned in my residency or medical school because I don't take care of sick people. I take care of people who aren't functioning well and trying to help them function better. So there's very few things that I learned in my residency that I still do.
Your offices are in the Atlanta area, and I see we're getting texts now, people wanting to know about telemedicine because we're
Yeah,
getting calls from around the country.
yeah, we can do telemedicine. You can go to my uh, practice here, Taylor Medical Group, and you can book online. It would be a new patient telehealth, and yeah, we can because what we use is saliva testing. It's a test you can do at home. We can ship you out the kit. You don't have to get your blood drawn. You don't have to go to a lab. You don't have to do any of that stuff, and we can look at what your hormones are estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, cortisol. We can do it in men and women. And with our two books, Are Your Hormones Making You Sick and The Stress Connection? That's what we look at. We look at your hormones and we look at cortisol, which looks at stress. If you correct those two problems, if they are abnormal and you get them back to normal, you will be amazed at all of the things that can correct themselves just by fixing those two. In medicine, we're taught to give something for each symptom. But a lot of times, 10 symptoms can be caused by one problem, one imbalance. So if you fix the imbalance, that root cause, 10 symptoms go away without you having to take 10 medications. That's the epiphany that I had 25 years ago, is that stop chasing the symptoms. If you cut out the root, all of the weeds go away. All of the symptoms go away if you cut out the root.
Well, I'm dying to hear. I know you went to a workshop for a
Yeah,
week, and I'm dying
yeah.
to hear about it.
Well, that workshop was Joe Dispenza. But here's what I've been working on. So I had to remember, how did I get into this? How did I change my mindset? You know what happened? A patient came in and asked me a question. Said, "What did I know about bioidentical progesterone?" Or she said, "Natural progesterone." And had I ever heard of saliva testing? And this was 25 years ago. And I feel like that was a message from God telling me what I needed to do. And so a patient told me that. And then I started to investigate it to see what she was talking about. And I'm like, oh my goodness, this is what I should have been doing from the beginning. Because we tested my wife, I gave her progesterone, and all of a sudden, all of her issues went away. And then I had some people in my office that were having hormonal issues. We did the same thing. It was amazing. And so that's what it started me down this road 25 years ago. So what I'm doing now is like, okay, if that's what got me going, then why don't I start teaching patients? Why don't I start teaching the lay people about this information? Because it's not hard. In understanding that blood tests does not show hormones because they're fat soluble, you have to look in the saliva. So maybe I can educate enough women who will walk in and ask a doctor about saliva tests, and they'll say, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Yes.
And maybe they will investigate it. So I started these courses. I have a hormone clarity learner course where you get the saliva kit, and there's a course in there. It's like 5 or 10 short little videos, like 90-second videos that tell you about the myths of hormone replacement and what the truth is. Okay. So it's a learner course. You get the kit, you learn something, and then what we hope is that you learn enough that you'll start talking to somebody else. Because women, and I don't mean to be sexist, but women like to talk about their hormone issues and all of those things. And so they like to tell and help somebody else. So I'm hoping that's how we're going to spread the information. Now, this is another way to spread it. I had a patient who's a marriage counselor who was having hormonal problems. We tested her, got her right, and she's like amazed at how well she feels. And then she realized, she said, hey, look, a lot of these couples that I counsel, I'm almost sure that these women have hormone issues because all of a sudden at 40, 45, 50, they're so irritated about their marriage.
Right.
And she says, but I send these women to the doctor and they come back and they all say, no, hey, they check my hormones, it's all normal. So she had this epiphany. It's like, wow, this is what I need. I need to be able to send them someplace or have them go somewhere where they can get saliva testing because it's going to make her job a lot easier. Also, I talked to a life coach. If you're talking about a life coach, especially in women, their hormones govern their whole life from puberty to the reproductive age to the perimenopause to menopause. And so saliva testing can help you guide them through their life. That's what I've been doing for 25 years. So I'm like, if you're a life coach, you need to understand this. You need to present it to your clientele because it will make your job easier. So I have an educator level to say, hey, look, this is how we can do this. I can teach you this, and then you can present it to your clients. Now, let me tell you what I've really been working on, Steve.
Okay.
Do you use ChatGPT?
I do.
Okay, so here's what you can do with ChatGPT is that I put all of the transcripts from my lectures and books and everything, put it into a private ChatGPT. So it can actually, if you're an educator or if you're a professional, I can give you access to that ChatGPT and it'll answer all of your questions. It'll tell you how you can explain it to a patient. I really made it where it's almost a little AI kind of thing. So that's what I've been working on over Thanksgiving.
This is
and
new.
all this. Oh, this is, I'm still working on it. I'm still trying to get it where it's easily accessible. I have it in like a beta mode now where I have a couple of people who are looking at it to tell me all the, bugs and everything in it. But, hey, I don't know. We started together, what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, about 3 years ago.
And
on
so,
radio.
yeah. And, the thing is, this whole concept of ageless blueprint and all that, Steve, again, you are the ones who kind of got me off of the couch again, because, I did this 10 or 15 years ago. I lectured and all this, but I didn't have things like ChatGPT that I could easily, create content and all this stuff. So I'm super duper excited because this is a way that I can do what I tried to do 10 or 15 years ago. I can do it in a much bigger scale now, and I can easily teach people this information, and hopefully they will go out and spread it. Because I'm telling you, when I go on TikTok and you hear the questions and all of the misinformation that's out there, and I see other guys talking about stuff, and it makes no sense. This one guy I saw yesterday, he was talking about, he was like a 60-year-old guy talking about how to survive menopause with your wife. And he was talking about how they needed estrogen and they just needed to express themselves. And that's why they're irritable and all this. And I'm like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. And people are listening to that. And the only reason why I started this whole deal is because my patients came in and said, Doc, you wouldn't believe the stuff that they're talking about on social media. You've got to get on social media and bring some sense to this whole thing. So that's what got me started. You got me off the couch to say, hey, look, why don't you start, educating people again? Because after COVID, I just kind of, like everybody, everything got shut down. And so now I'm back in the saddle again. I'm doing what I've always felt like I was meant to do, is to teach people, the truth, and to help them, heal and not just cover up symptoms. That's why that's why I became a doctor, to help people and not just to push drugs and, and do, take out uteruses and stuff. This is much more, this is much more pleasurable than what I was doing before. Cause I really feel like, Steve, I've got a new moniker. Okay. You want to hear that? I have a new identity.
What is it?
I am the leading expert on hormone clarity. And I feel like I'm the only one talking some sense out there. Yeah. And because I've been doing it for 25, 30 years, I've been doing saliva testing. I've seen patients over and over. I know what this is. I know how it works. And I know how there's such a scarcity of good information out there. I love the internet, but you got to know where to go to get your information. Exactly. And you just don't take it randomly. And if I can teach you some basics, you'll be able to filter out good information from bad. You just filter it through normal physiology. What does estrogen do? And you just filter it through, and you'll be able to discern who's giving you good information and who's just saying something that they heard somebody else say and they're just repeating it.
I got to tell you, I can just hear it in your voice, how excited you are. I mean, folks, listen, we don't talk about it every show anymore, but Dr. Taylor gave up this incredible OBGYN practice. Yeah. And what you're doing now, I think, is so much more important. And it's funny, Dr. Taylor, you never know at least with our show, you never know who's listening or watching.
Yeah.
And we had a lady who listens. She swears by your first Wednesday shows with us. And she gets your Aegis blueprint. And
okay, great.
I have turned so many of my friends on to the Aegis blueprint. You just never know who's listening. Now, how do people get that? Because I want to make sure people know about it. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do 2 or 3 a day.
Oh, yeah. Yes, whenever the feeling hits me, but that's it right there. www.school.com/ageless/about. But you can just put /ageless and it'll go there. The about is just the initial page. But that's my main engine. That's where I have all of the courses are in that school group. And a lot of it is free. Just to join the community and get my Ageless tip, that's free. There's also a mini hormone clarity course that's free. Now, if you want to get a saliva test and learn the information and get a printout, a reading of what your saliva test is, and what it's telling you and what you need and what the next steps are, that's in that learner course. If you're an educator, if you have an audience that would benefit from this information, that's the educator course. And if you're a doctor, let's say that you tell a doctor and the doctor joins the program. And then here's the great thing now. In this program and school, there's actually commissions that are paid if you are bringing somebody in who wants education, because there is a cost to those courses. But if you want to bring somebody in, there's actually a commission, because I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to get you to help me to educate more people. So even if we have to have a commission for that, that's what we'll do. Because this is kind of like, hey, I'm 65 years old. Hey, let me tell you, Steve.
I was just going to say about that.
Yeah.
Your age, Dr. Taylor, if they're watching, you can see Dr. Taylor does not look like he's in his 60s.
Hey, let me tell you, I had a patient come in yesterday or the day before, and she said, Dr. Taylor, what are you doing? You're doing something. You're doing testosterone. You're doing something. I said, this is the only thing I'm doing differently. I get up every morning excited to work on this. Is that I believe, especially in this age, in this stage of life, you have to have something that makes you get out of bed, that you enjoy. And I enjoy doing this. I feel like I have a purpose. I'm doing something to help society, help humanity. That's what keeps you young, is having a purpose. I used to talk about is when you are in harmony and in balance, it opens up your purpose. And when you open up your purpose, now you have energy, and that makes you live longer. We're talking about longevity. It's all about harmony and balance and having a purpose. And this is my purpose. And there's a statement that says you have to persist until you succeed. So I've been doing this for a year. I'm persistent. Hey, I was doing those ageless tips of the day when there was nobody a member, and I just kept doing it, and I'll keep doing it. And now there's over 500 people in there, and I want it to be thousands, okay? Because thousands need to learn this information, and that's why the introductory part is free. So yeah. So I'm persisting. It's just like I'm persisting with you. We started 3 or 4 years ago, and I told you, hey, look, I'm going to be loyal to you because you're the ones who got me started. So I'm persistent. Hey, I'll come. And
you know what?
Wednesday.
Our numbers, I look at we're on 70 different platforms. iHeart is our best one. But YouTube, we used to get about 10 or 15. And I sent you a show last month, had over almost 500 people. So it's growing. Word is getting around. Yeah. We are so lucky. Tell people how they can reach you.
Well, the best thing, I would love for you to join my school. And then I won't say I'm always available, but I try to make sure that there's a benefit by being in that school. The other way you can go to my medical practice is Taylor Medical Group. It's actually .net. I know you have up there, it's not .com, it's .net. If you go to taylormedicalgroup.com, I think it's a law practice. Okay, so it's taylormedicalgroup.net. I'm just now seeing that. And that's my telephone number, 678-443-4000. But I'll tell you the best way to, that's the best way to get in touch with us is to go to our website and look around. You can book an appointment. But if you just want information, join my school group and we can go from there. Because to be honest with you, I'm trying to de-emphasize my office a little bit, and I'm looking at a wider scope. I'm really trying to educate women, and that's just, and period, wherever you are. I don't care if you're in Ghana or Israel or whatever, is that this is information is universal. All women, their menstrual cycles are the same. So anyway, so that's it. That's how you get in touch with me. Please join my school group. Hey, follow me on TikTok, Instagram. I'm on all of those. All of my links. I'm telling you, I'm doing an all-out effort to get this information out.
We love you, bro. You're the best.
Man.
And we'll be rerunning the show again next week. And hey, we'll see you next month. Oh my gosh, you know what? I won't see you. Hey, have a Merry Christmas. God bless you.
Oh, that's right. This is December. Yeah. All right. Well, Merry Christmas to all of you guys. Hey, join my, I will be doing my Ageless Blueprint podcast. I may not be doing it the week of Christmas because we may be out of town, but join Ageless Blueprint podcast. All right.
We love you, bro.
All right. Love you too, man. Thank you.
Eldred Taylor of the Taylor Medical Group. We're going to go to a quick break. We'll be right back.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show on W4CY Radio and Talk4 TV. Tune in next week and every week to hear more from our experts on personal injury, insurance, air condition repairs, estate planning, Medicare, and many other topics in the areas of legal, health, financial, and home improvement. See you next week.